Welcome to Mr. O'Keefe's Book Club podcast, where we take a journey through books, chapter by chapter, and I will give you my thoughts on the book, and we can take this journey together. I've been running book clubs for almost 14 years now, and I teach elementary school in New Jersey. And the book that we will start reading together is called The Hotel Balzaar. The Hotel Balzaar by Kate DiCamillo. This is her second book in her trilogy, 3 books called The Norin Details. And it's illustrated by Julia Sarda. This is a different illustrator than the first book in this series, 3-book series, like I said. The first book was The Puppets of Spellhorse. So in this particular book, it starts off, if I'm going to read a book, and this is what I've always counseled my students, you've got to grab me up front. You've got to grab the reader. Whether you're writing yourself or you're reading a book, I'll give you 30 pages, but if it's not interesting to me, you won't have me reading anymore. So the first chapter definitely, in its own unique way, captures me. This book is basically about a girl named Marta and her mother who live at this Hotel Balzaar in an attic room with one bed, a sink, and as the author describes it, a battered chest of drawers. Marta basically is counseled by her mother, and we can already get a sense of where this story is going. All day long, this is Marta's mother telling her how she needs to behave in this hotel. It's clear that Marta's mother is a maid in this hotel. All day long, you must be quiet, quiet. You may leave the room, but wherever you go, you must be as quiet as a small mouse. You must not bother no one. You must not be a nuisance ever. Do you understand? You can do this. Yes, Mama, said Marta. I can do this. So what's interesting right from the beginning on page 2 is that the author right away gives us a sense of where Marta and her mother stand socially. And you can already get that from page 1 that they're sleeping in a attic. But Marta's mother tells her, you always must use the back stairs. The elevator is not for us, right? And also when they describe on page 2 the actual hotel lobby, it has a grand high-ceiling room outfitted with potted palms and ashtray stands. So just that, right away, children, you can get the idea that in terms of the setting, which is when and where a story takes place, even though they haven't said it, you have to infer no one smokes anymore. So there's not ashtrays around in any kind of hotel lobby. That's just a fact. So this must be prior to 1960, 40s, 50s, when lobbies, hotels were throughout big cities, and yes, everyone smoked, unfortunately. That's maybe hyperbole, but a lot of people smoked. My father smoked, and if you look at old movies from the times, from 40s, 50s, 60s, you'll see a lot of people smoking. So, as we get along, 2 things that she notices right away when she goes down into the hotel lobby. She looks at a fireplace at one end of the lobby. Above it hung a huge painting of a brown field and dark clouds. If you look closely, you could see a single lighted wing emerging from one of the clouds. Clearly, you're getting an indication already that this is important. It's mentioned in the blurb of the book. Blurb is the inside cover that goes over what the book is about. I frankly very often don't like these blurbs because I feel like it ruins the essence of the book and what's to come. But basically, what was written here by Katie Camillo in this particular picture, Marta had decided that this wing that was emerging from one of the clouds with its incandescent feathers belonged to an angel. But why was there only one wing? And was the angel arriving or was the angel departing? The other side of Lavi, Marta realizes or takes a look at a grandfather clock. The face of the grandfather clock features a cat chasing a mouse through the hours and minutes of the day, and she's always wondering what happens to this mouse. And ultimately, towards the end of this chapter, we meet the bellman, who is the person that basically helps you bring in the luggage in the lobby of a hotel. And the description of this bellman is great. His name is Norman Francis Benwithier. Benwithier, I think, is the pronunciation. Great picture on page 7 of the book. He's got a cap at a jaunty angle so that is obscures his left eye. Obscured, boys and girls, is hidden. And what's great about this is the girl that should not be talking starts talking. And very simply, she starts to talk. And I'm going to read this section from page 8 through page 10, which is the end of the chapter. Really ends with a bang. Marta said to him, "You smile when you sleep? Are you dreaming?" "Of course," said Norman. "Otherwise, what is the point to go away so?" "What do you dream of?" asked Marta. Best line right now in the first chapter. "What a question from someone who is not supposed to speak," says Norman. Marta's face grew warm. She looked down at the scuffed toes of her shoes. This is a writing technique. It's called show, but don't tell. Don't tell me that she got embarrassed. Don't tell me that she's melancholy. Just describe literally what she does. And this is a great connection. Those of you that are fans of Katie Camillo, going back to her first successful book, Because of Winn-Dixie, Otis always looked down at his shoes. "Shh, shh," said Norman. "I will tell you. I dream of the meadow behind my grandfather's house. I dream of the blue flowers there, and of the tall grass, and the bees buzzing. What do you dream of, lady?" "I don't dream," said Martha. This was not true. She did dream. She dreamed of her father returning. OMG. Immediately I'm hooked. It was a dream in which she opened a window or a door, and a dazzling square of light suddenly entered the room, and then behind the light was her father, wearing a black suit, walking toward her, smiling. He walked with his arms stretched out on either side of him, balancing, good repeating words. And everywhere there was light. I'm going to throw in my thoughts as I read. That's what great readers do. She did not tell Norman about this dream. She did not tell her mother either, her mother who slept beside her in the small bed in the attic room of the Hotel Balzaar. And here we are, friends, ending this chapter. 4 sentences, so effective. Her mother who wept sometimes in the night. What did Marta's mother dream? Marta did not know. She was afraid to ask. Brilliant. Again, she's got me, the author, Katie Camillo. What's interesting, a few reflections here. There's this, the metaphor of light, so common in the Puppets of Spellhorse. Those of you that read this first in the trilogy of the Normandy Tales. And here's, again, I'm curious what you're thinking. If you are thinking certain things here about this opening chapter of this book, you like it, you don't like it, the characters, what do you think of them? Email me at kevmok21@gmail.com. That's kevmok21@gmail.com. Here's the questions that I'm wondering as I go forward with this book. And this is not a long book. It's a short book. It's only, 147 pages. Not that many words on the page. Got a lot of illustrations here. Why are they poor? Why are they working at a hotel? Of course, a very similar to a theme with the Puppets of Spellhorse, where the old sea captain went away. And one part that I think it's important, friends, to know that what these stories are there's stories within stories. So that's going to be a prevailing theme here. But ultimately, the big question, of course, that you want to know, everyone wants to know, whether you're young or old, what happened to her father? Will her father return? So, again, I'm hooked, and as we go through this journey, in this first episode of my podcast, the book is The Hotel Balzaar by Kate DiCamillo, and we will go episode by episode, either one chapter or multiple chapters, but I'll tell you what I'm thinking, and I hope you can enjoy the ride with me and come along. Thank you until next time.